अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहितुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, chapter 22, verse number 19. So, in the earlier verses we read that how when gopis requested Krishna and they said that they are his servants, so he should give the clothes, otherwise they will complain. So then Krishna said, if that is the case, then you should just do what I tell you to do. So you come out one by one and take your dresses. So then he sat on the Kadamba tree and he saw them coming out. So he was very pleased by their pure bhav, Shuddha bhava prasadita. So bhakti, the most important part in bhakti is bhava. Because there are actions which we perform which are in the form of physical activities done with our body, senses, speech, mind, and then there is the bhav behind the action. So that's why bhakti is divided in three groups: sadhana bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prema bhakti. So this sadhana is meant to give us or reach or culminate in bhava, because physical action can be done with different intentions. So what he is trying to show here is the bhava of the gopis. It is not important that they are naked or not naked, that's not the point here. But what is the bhav? And that is what is to be studied. The whole thing to be studied here in Bhāgavatam is this bhav only. And then only we can understand the greatness of the gopis. Because external activities people can perform. Even the film actors can do that very nicely, because they are very good in imitating. They can do better than the original devotee. But they cannot have the bhav. So this bhav is what Krishna is looking for. He is not looking for external action, because he has everything. There is nothing that he is in need of. But he is pleased with the bhav. And that is what is being depicted here. So when there is a gradation of various types of devotees, which is described here in Bhāgavatam and has been put by Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhāgavatamritam and by Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhāgavatamritam. So they only show the gradation of the bhav. And then the highest level of this bhav is the Mahabhav. And Srimati Radharani is Mahabhav Swarupa. Her Swarupa, has her very existence, her personality is actually made of this Mahabhav. And these gopis are expansions of that Mahabhav. So this is what is to be first understood and then desired. So this is what we call as Manjari Bhav, Gopi Bhav. So this Bhav is the important thing, not the form. So that's why Krishna also uses the same word, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam. Because this sansar is also Bhav Mula. It is rooted in Bhav only. If you change your Bhav, then there is no sansar. Friends and enemies are all related to our Bhav. Everybody has got 2 hands, 2 legs. So, but some people have Asurik Bhav, some people have Sattvic Bhav, some have Rajasic Bhav. And that's what makes different quality of people. So Bhav is that what is to be studied. That's what the psychology is all about, studying the Bhav. So therefore it was said that Bhagavan ahata vikshya shuddha bhava prasadita. That he was extremely satisfied by their bhav. They did not do anything. It's not that they brought some big gifts to him, or they gave big donation, or they did this or that. But their bhav, he understood the bhav of the gopis. And therefore skandhe nidhaya vasansi prita pravacha sasmita. So this is when he became totally subdued by the gopis, although it was said that gopis got defeated. But by getting defeated, he is getting defeated. This is the transcendental situation. That one who gets defeated actually makes the other person. Because when they said, okay, we lose, we are coming out, then Krishna got defeated. That's why he is putting even their clothes on his body, even their lower garments. He is honoring them. That's what the commentator said. Otherwise, why it has to be said here, skandhe nidhaya vasansi? So this is to show that he became so much impressed, enamored by them, pleased by them, so much controlled that even their dresses he wanted to put on his shoulder. What to speak of them? He would like to pick them up and put them on his head. So that's how much he is pleased. And therefore Pritaha, again the word, first he says Shuddha Bhava Prasadita. 3 words are used in this sloka, that he is Prasadita, he was pleased, and Prita, which also means satisfied, and Sasmitam, and he was smiling. So he is not joking now. All that joking was done earlier. But as he said in the commentary that he will take it one notch up. So therefore he speaks the next sloka now. So it says, Yuyam vivastra yadapo dhritavrata vyagahate dad tadudeva helanam baddhanjalim murdhanya punuttayem hasaha kritva namodho vasanam pragliyatam. So he says that you are Dhritavrata, you are following this Vrata of Katyayani for 1 month, and you went inside the river naked. So Vyagahata, you dipped inside the river naked. So this is Deva Helanam. This is an offense to the Devata of water, Varun Devata, and therefore you cannot get the result of your vrata, because to get the result you have to be free from offense. So now what is to be done? You have to do a praschita, you have to do atonement. So what is the atonement? So atonement is that you have to join your palms and put it on your head, and this way you will become free from the, and then you bow down on the ground, and then you can take your dress. Because earlier it was described that they came out, but they are trying to still cover their modesty. So then Gopal Champuji Goswami explains more detail that they had long hair, so they put the hair in front. So he says that actually their hair was so long that they were coming up to their thighs, so they covered their breast and private parts, so it was like they were not naked. So now he says that no, not like this. You have to join your palm and put it on your head and bow down, and then you can take your cloth. So commentary says, Hanta Hanta Gudhoyam Apradho Yasmakam Vyakto Abhut Ityaha Yoyam. So Krishna is saying that alas, alas, the offense which you have done, now it has become explicit. Because if you are inside the water, how do we know that you are naked or you are not naked? So you can do the offense and nobody sees it. But now you are coming out, so good, your aparadha which was hidden, now it has become explicit. Vyakta abhut. Yuyam vivastra, you are completely naked. Satyoya dapo vyagahata. So you went or dipped or jumped inside. Vyagahadvam, so it should be, instead of a vyagahata, it should be vyagahadvam, not parpad but atmapad. So tadetat u eva arthe. So this is This indeed is a devasya jaladhistastri adhishtatur varunasya narayanasya va helnam aprada. So this is therefore an offense to Varuna, who is the Jaladevata, the deity of the water, or of Narayana. So therefore you cannot get the result what you did your vrata for. Your vrata is a waste. Nanu deshacharoyam vishesto balanam na prada. So now the gopis are saying, but this is a custom here that you take naked bath in the river. And we are small girls, so it is not an offense. So then he is also a scholar. He has arguments. So tatra dhrita vrata. So he says, yeah, it is not an offense in general, but you are doing a vrata. So that's why it is an offense. Because what does vrata means? Vrata means that you follow certain rules. That you eat this, you don't eat this food, you sleep like this, you do this japa. So now when you do vrata, you cannot take naked bath. So therefore it says dhita vrata. Anushtitasya asya vratasya falabhavastu avasyam bhavi iti bhishayate. So he is scaring them that now the vrata which we have observed for 1 month, you cannot get the result of it. So all your effort is a waste. So you better do some prashchitta. Then you can get. So hanta etadrisham vidambanam abhud vratphalam cha na bhavishyati ato mrita api vayam vishesta sushtu mrita tadalam prana tyaga vilambena iti mano anutapavati vishirna sarvangi vivarna ati vivla viksha hanta asam ma prana prayantu iti sadya eva ati kripya swameva tasya prashchitam vadan bhokrashangya ma bhashta iti asvashayati baddhaiti. So when gopis they heard this, they were very surprised and very unhappy. He says, alas, this is a great troublesome situation that we have committed an offense, etadris vidambanam abhut, and now we are not going to get the result of our vrata. So we are already dead, and now we are more dead. So dying is also of different levels. It's not that you just die once. There can be a lower type of death, medium type of death, higher type of death. So we were already dead because we have to come out naked. And now we are more dead that we are not going to get the result of our vrata and we have committed offense. So not only that we will not get the result of our vrata, we have to suffer for the sin we have committed. So instead of getting some benefit from this vrata, we actually lost. So therefore it says that Vishesta Sushtu Mrita, we are totally dead now. Tadalam Prana Tyaga Vilambena. So therefore now there is no need to wait. We should just jump back into the river and give up our life. But what is the use? We wanted Krishna as our husband, we are not going to get that. On top of that, Varun Devata will make us suffer. So let's go back to the river and take shelter of him now. So Mano Anutapavati. So in this way they were feeling very remorseful in their mind. And Vishirna Sarvangi, it's like the whole body was torn. And Vivarna, they lost their sheen, so to say, the bodily luster. Ati Vivala, and therefore they were very disturbed So when Krishna saw them in this situation, he thought, Hanta asam ma prana prayantu. He says, certainly this is not good that they should give up their life. Sadhya eva atikripya swameva tasya praschitam vadan. So immediately, out of supreme compassion, Krishna spoke an atonement for them. That you do this atonement. And he said, Bho Krishangya, that oh, the emaciated girls, ma bhashta, do not fear. I have a solution for you. So just do that. So he is consoling them or giving them solace. So baddhaiti. So that is baddhanjali. That put your joint palms in your head, bow down and take your cloth. Striyo hi yasya dasyo bhavanti saeva tasa sarvadeva mayo narayane iti shastra adeshat narayana samo gunai iti gargadeshat. So what he means is that if women surrender to somebody, then that person becomes like God to them. He is the personification of all the devas. And moreover, Krishna was described by Gargacharyas that he is equal to Narayana in qualities. So therefore he says that, look, at present I am your Narayana. Samprati ahameva yusmakam Narayana. Tan mad abhimukhe eva sthita amhaso aparadasya apnuttaye nivrittaye nama kritva adhovasna mantriya vastram grihetam. So now what you have to do is, to get rid of your offense, just bow down to me. And this way you will become free from your offense, and then you take your dress. So strinam antriya vasobhi, and then he says adho vastram. So the word adho can be applied adho nama, that you go down on the ground and bow down. Or adho can apply to the dress, means the lower garments. So he is applying the word adho to the garments. Means not the upper garments, but the lower garments. Means take your lower garments. So why is that? So it says, Strinam antariya vasobhi pumso mama prayojana vabhavat taneva dasyam. He says, your lower garments have no purpose for me. Because I am a male and you are female, I am not going to wear your female garments. So therefore I will give only the lower ones. And the above upper ones I will make my pagdi. So utriyani tu swasya utriyani karishyami. The your upper garments I will use myself. Tatascha shirobhireva praname kriyamane. So then the gopis said, okay, we have to bow down. So they started bowing down. They are standing and they are bowing down their head like that. So Krishna says, no. So he says, ham ho kevala sri pranamo gauna eva ityuktam. He says, just putting your head down like this is not considered as pranam. That is only secondary pranam. So the real pranam is that you go on the ground. So therefore he says no. So then they want to use one hand and keep one hand still covering. So then they say no. Ek panina namnodhyamam alaksha ek hasta pranamasya iti vachan pathena. So it is listed among the offense that when you bow down, you should not bow down with one hand. So he says, no, that is also an offense. To bow down with one hand. So you have to use both hands. So you have to put your both hands in front of your head and go down like that. Then it is complete pranam. So that's why he is saying. Because he wants them to get rid of the offense. He is very compassionate. That's why he is telling them. So he says that vachan pathena pratyavayam darshitva. So he says that doing pranam with one hand is also a pratyavaya, means that is also a mistake. So Anjalim tam karyamasire. So therefore he made them join their palms and put on their head and bow down. Tatrapi adhonjalim abhipratya murdhani. So then they are trying to put their palm in front like this or down. Says okay, we can. He says no. Tries to go out. So that's why he said Kritva namodho Baddhanjali murdhani. That you join your palm on your head. So he was very specific instruction. Then only they can be free from the helanam, from the aparadha. Ityachutena bhetam rajavala matva vivastra plavanam vratachutim tatpurti kamas tadashesha karmanam sakshat kritam nemuravadhyamrikayataha. So when Krishna spoke like this, they actually believed him. So these girls from Braja, when they heard this Krishna's statement, then they understood that taking naked bath in the river has brought a defect in their vratachutim. And now they have to remove that defect, and that is to please Krishna. So tatpurti kamas tad ashesha karmanam sakshat kritam name. So therefore to wish to make their vrata complete, they offered all their activities to him and they bow down to him so that their avadya, their flaw, their mistake will be removed. Avadyam rakyata. So basically they did what he asked them to do. Tatascha vrata vagunyam ma bhavatu. So then let there not be any flaw in our vrata. Bhavatu asmakam jati kul dharma lajjadi sarvanasapi. Let there be destruction to our jati, our family, our dharma, our modesty, everything. Means we are ready to sacrifice everything, but we want to protect our vrata. Why is that? Because the vrata was to get Krishna. So the meaning is that they are ready to sacrifice everything to gain Krishna. So like Arjuna and Duryodhana, they went to Dwarka before the battle began to get help from Krishna. And Krishna said that you can choose one side, I will be there but I will not fight. Other side is my Narayani army. So Duryodhana wanted the army and Arjuna wanted Krishna, so both were happy. So that is what devotee is, that he is not interested in the opulence of God, he wants God. So that is the bhav, that is the important thing. That what is their intention. So Duryodhana's intention was that he doesn't care for Krishna. He cares for army because he wants to win. And Arjuna's intention was that I want Krishna, and if I have Krishna then I don't care for anything. So therefore gopis are saying that let everything be lost. We may be disowned by our family people. We may lose our jati as Vaishyas, cowherdess. We may fall down from that status. We may lose our dharma. We may be declared as a dharmika. and shameless. But if we can protect our vrata, that is the best thing. So therefore, sarvanaso api iti nishyavati. Let everything be lost. So this is what Krishna says, sarvdharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. So they are actually a living example of that. They are the proof, they are demonstrated it practically. That iti nishyavati bhis tabhir yatha yatha eva prayan praha tathaiva kritam itya. So as their beloved Krishna has said, they did it exactly in the same way. The way he said that you do this, join your palms, put your head, go down, bow down, then come in here, take your dress. They did exactly like that. So dosatvena achyutena abhihitam vivastraplavanam vratasya chuti hetum matva tasya vratasya purti kama ta tadesh karmanam tasya vratasya annesham ashesh karmanam cha sakshat kritam sadhya phal swarupam tam nemi. So as Krishna has described to them that your vrata has got a flaw in it because you took bath naked in the river, and therefore to remove that flaw they did what he asked them to, and in this way to complete their vrata purti kama, or desiring to complete. So tas tad asesh karmanam tasya vratasya annesham asesh karmanam. So whatever austerity rules they had followed for the Katyayani vrata, that and all other activities they offered to Krishna the way bowing down to him. Sakshat kritam sadhya phal swarupam tam nemi. Because he was the sadhya, he was the goal. From this vrata, it is Krishna that they wanted to achieve. And then say that if he himself is here and he is asking us to do it, then we do that. And if this is what is going to fulfill the vrata, then if the vrata is already fulfilled, if they do what he is asking them to do, because then he is pleased and they attend him. So therefore they bow down. Sarva phala swarupe tasmin eva santushte kim phalam avshishtam syaditi bhava. So Krishna is the personification of all the results, all the goals, all the outcomes of dharmic activities, all the results of vratas, japa, homa, tapa, tyaga, swadhyaya, everything. So if he is satisfied, then what remains to be attained? Then everything is already perfected. So therefore, the gopis attained perfection. Of course, they are already perfect, but it is showing here how they are qualified for this. Nanu phala praptirapi astu dosho api bhavishyati yatak aha yato achyuta deva. So now there is possibility, there is three possibilities. That one is that you perform the activity, you have the defect, so you don't get the result, and you also get some bad karma. The other possibility is that you get what you want, but you have to pay for the flaw. So he is saying that let there be perfection of the result and also the defect. What is harm with that? So he says, no, that is not there. Then phal praptirapi astu, let them attain the result, and doshopi bhavishyati, and let there also be the flaw. Sataha yato achyutadeva avadyamrik. So it is not, no, that's not happening here, because they are getting the result from Achyuta. Achyuta means then there is no more chuti, there is no more flaw. So therefore it says avadya mrik. So sarva dosha nivritti riti artha. Means not only that they got the result, but they became free from all imperfection in their vrata. So mrigiti arsha. So this avidya mrik, it should be amidya mrid. Saswaraj is Bhraj Parivraj, Srij Mrij, Bhrascha Vrashcham Chasha, Vishnu Padante Vaishnavecha. So it should have been Avadya Mrid or Avidya Mrit. So he says this is Arsha. Nahi tat prasad vishayi bhutanam pratyavayadi lakshana kopi doshaiti bha. So the meaning is that one who has got the grace of Krishna, or who has become the object of Krishna's grace, then there is no possibility of any defect in such a person, because that is the ultimate perfection. तास्तथावनता दृष्ट्वा भगवान देवकी सुतः वासान सीताभ्य प्रायच्छत करुणस्तेन तोषितः. So Bhagavan, who is son of Devaki, seeing the gopis bowing down as he had instructed them, he gave them their dresses because he was very satisfied and he was very compassionate on them. So Karunastena Toshita. So he returned everybody's dress. So Vasansi Sarvani eva yatastena pramanena svavanchitartha sadhakena Toshita. So he gave all the dresses back, not only the lower ones but also the upper ones. Although earlier he said, I will give you only the lower ones, not the upper one, but he gave. So why is that? Because they did exactly what he asked them to do, and thus he was very satisfied with them. Toshita. So this is a very important sloka which comes now. Sukhdev is speaking this, and this shows the power of their love, power of their devotion to Krishna. Dridham pralabdha strapya cha hapita prastobhita kridan vachakarita vastrani chaiva pritanyanyathaapyamum tanabhyasuyan priyasanga nirvrita. So dridham pralabdha. So they were cheated by Krishna. All these statements which he made, not all your dress here, there, how do I know? And trapyacha hapita. And they were made to give up their modesty, that come out. And prastobhita. And they were ridiculed by him, because he was making fun with them. And kridan vachakarita. And he made them just like playthings, like toys. Like you tell the toy, you keep the toy here, move it this way, throw up, down, everything. Whatever he wanted to do with them. And vastrani chaiva aparhitani. And he stole their clothes. Athapi amum na ta nabhyasuyam. So even all this thing was done, still they did not become upset or angry with him. They did not find flaw with him. Nabhyasuyam. They were not criticizing him. Rather, priya sang nirvrita. They were very happy, they were in bliss having association of him. So that is the extent of their surrender to him, that there was nothing which could put any doubt in their mind about Krishna or any criticism, any finding fault in him. Why is he doing like this? What have we done? And look how lusty he is. Right? To start thinking like that. So they did not do any of these things. Rather they were happy. Earlier also we saw that. And this is what made Krishna completely controlled by them. Because if somebody surrenders to this extent, how is it possible that Krishna would not come under their sway? Because he also has a heart. He's not just joking and playing. He's also a person. And he understands what it means to love. So therefore he was absolutely controlled by their love. So when love is there, then this is how one behaves. You cannot see defect in a person you love. Even something defective is there that appears like something good. If something is being done which other people find as objectionable, then they will have an explanation for it. No, he's just joking like this. Oh, he's just a child. He's doing. What is wrong with it? So this is the characteristic of love. Kurvan chat velikani ya priya sa priya eva. So one who is dear is always dear, even if he does so many things which are disturbing, velikani, unfavorable. So ashesha dosa drushtopi kaya kasina vallava. So the example is given of our human body. And this human body is full of defects all the time. First you have to feed it 3 times a day. After every few hours it's demanding. And is there anybody who demands more than your own body? Imagine somebody living next door to you and every 3-4 hours he comes and begs you some food. How much you will love that person? Even if somebody is your wife, husband or somebody, after a few hours they give me food. And no, I don't like this, give me this, I only want sweet, I don't want this. It's always demanding. And then after every few hours go to toilet. So how many trouble it gives, but we never think like that, right? Do we think that it is troublesome? How much effort we have to make just to feed the body? You work hours and hours just to make arrangement for your food and sleep and bathroom. Isn't it? If you see in the society how much money is spent just on this, all the system just for toilet. So in Hindi there are 2 words, one is called khana, another is called pakhana. Khana means food, pakhana means toilet. So life is only khana and pakhana. So, but still body is so dear to us, right? How much time we take care of it, how much we bother about it. So, ashesha dosa dushtopi. He says that it is full of defects, ashesha. Whatever defects you can think of, they are in the body. Then it becomes old. And once you are old, then today it is cold, tomorrow it is allergy, then it is hot, then it is too cold, then it is like this, then stomach problem, headache, migraine. backache, neck ache, like knee ache, everywhere there is ache. So, ashesha dosha dushtopi, kaya kasya. But is there anybody who dislikes the body? No, we happily carry it around. So this is the example if you want to know what it means to love somebody. So kurvan shatvali kani yo priya sa priyeva. So gopis have shown this. So this is what is called rag bhakti. Because this is not, rag means it is natural. It's not by some education. They did not go to some bhakti school. They did not do some bhakti ratna, bhakti tirtha, nothing like that. So they are the natural, they are the acharyas of bhakti, without going anywhere. So this is natural to them. It's not by any training. It's not by lecturing every day, no, bhakti is like this, no, don't do like that. Natural. So this is what it's called Raganuga. Try to get the hang of Raganuga now. So tiraskurvato api swapriyasya anukulyam tabhikritam. This is amazing that he actually insulted them. I mean, what can be a bigger insult for a girl than this? Even if you have your boyfriend and you go to a river or beach and you are inside, and then the boyfriend comes and he runs away with your dress, how will you feel? You will get mad. He says, what is this nonsense? He says, no, you come out. Even if there is nobody on the beach, you are alone still, how would you feel? Somebody does that. So therefore he says, tiraskurvato api, although they were not, he was not neutral, he was not respectful, he was nothing, he was not speaking pleasing, he was insulting them. He steals their dress without, he did not tell them that I am going to do this. So swapriyasya anukulyam tabhi kritam. So even when they were insulted by Krishna, they only did anukulya to him. So anukulyena Krishna anusilnam bhakti uttama. This is the uttama bhakti. This is the example of uttama bhakti. So dridham pralabdha trapyascha hapita prastobhita kridan vacchakarita. So vasansi chapi apritani athapyamu nabhyasuyan priya sanga nirvrita. This is most amazing thing. So anyay duskaratvad, he says that this is very difficult for anyone else to do like this. He is using duskaratvad, it is actually asambhava, it is impossible. Not difficult, but impossible. Anyay duskaratvad vishmayena abhinandati. So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami is surprised and then he is honoring the gopis by speaking this sloka. So dridham atyartham pralabdha vanchita. So they are very strongly, I don't know what will be the good adjective, that heavily cheated. What will be the cheating and heavy cheating? Intensely cheated, what would be the good adjective for cheating? Badly. So badly cheated. Vanchita, yuyam vivastra yadapo dhrita brata. So like saying that you are naked going inside the water, therefore you have lost your vrata. This is all cheating. There was no such thing. Trapaya cha avhapita tyajita. And then he made them give up their modesty. So atragatya svavasansi iti agrahane. That you come here and take your clothes. Iti agrahane. And prastobhita upahasita. He also ridiculed them. He made fun of them. Says Satyam Brahmani no Narma. He says, I'm not joking, I'm telling you the truth. So I don't know this, you come, take your dress, all these things. So he was just joking with them. And Kridopkaranam Yantra Putrikadi Tadvat Karita Krita. So and he made them like playthings, as if they are toys in his hands. So he played with them, that do like this, do like that, put your hands on your head now, like as if he's not only he made them naked, he made them come out naked, but he made them dance to his tune, so to say. So not like this. He did not leave them, even then. Even when they came out naked, still he was not satisfied. So sometimes in the villages, I remember some of these magicians used to come, so they will have some boy doing some tricks. So the boy will do trick, then he will say, Abhina manu, tabbina manu. He says, no, I'm not satisfied, I'm not satisfied. Then he will make them something harder. And then he will have like some drum, he will sing that, Abhina manu, tabbina manu. He says, no, I'm not satisfied. So it's like he's saying that, no, I'm not satisfied, I'm not, no more, do this more. It's like gone, giving hell basically. So that's what he was doing. That is the meaning of Kridan Vachakarita. That he made them just like Krido Upkaranam, like a toy, Yantra Putrikadi. So he said, Baddhanjali Mityadi, put your hands on your head and so on. Ityadi prashchitta chalena nab suyam dos drishta napasha. So he made all this pretext that this is the prashchitta. There is no such prashchitta. Is this a prashchitta? You think in any Smriti Shastra, any book of Dharma, there will be prashchitta like that you should come out naked, put your hand on your head, bow down like this to the Devata. There is no prashchitta like this. But he tricked them like this. And they believed him. So that's what it says, Kridan Vachakarita. So, still Nabhyasuyan dosa drishtya napashat. So, even then they did not find fault in him. Generally you start criticizing. That, oh, he is too proud, oh, he thinks he knows more than me, or he thinks he is this. He knows dharma, he doesn't know even this much. How can this be prashchitta? What kind of prashchitta is this? Nothing like that. So this is that they are so straightforward, innocent and surrendered, and they have faith in him. It shows how much faith they had in him. So now you tell one thing and immediately start arguing. No, but I saw like this, I read like this. No, but so and so said like that. Right? Somebody said like that. In internet everything is, everybody reads. Immediately you don't take it. So priyasya tatha kritvatopi sangena nirvrita priyatvadeva priyakritam dukpradanamapi sukhatveneva anubhavante iti bhava. So even all this was done to them, still they were priyasanga nirvrita. They were just happy that they are with him. So although he did all these unfavorable things basically to them, but they were happy by his association. So why is that? Because of love, priyatvadev. Otherwise it is impossible that some person is doing this to you and you are laughing. So priyakritam dukha pradhanam api sukhatvena eva anubhavante. So the meaning is that even that which is troublesome to you, because it is done by your beloved to you, it is giving pleasure to you. So dukha pradhanam api, even making you suffer or giving you trouble by your beloved, it appears like pleasure. Sukhatvena eva anubhavante iti bhavam. This is the meaning. So this is the characteristic of prema. This is the nature of love for God, love for Krishna. So there is no suffering involved in that. That is the meaning. Because prema is hladani shakti. Hladani samvitsar. Hladani means bliss. So all this is blissful to them. So I'll stop here if there is any question to ask. Yes. Yeah.
Could you, I think you explained what said already, could you again explain?
Your voice is not clear.
It may be the internet, it's that cannot change, but still not clear.
Now a little better.
Could you explain again why, I mean, from Krishna's point of view, why did he do it?
Why he did this?
Yes.
He wanted, from his point of view means he wanted to test how much they love him. That's what we read in the commentary. He says, I'm going to test you. Because they wanted him as their husband. That's the vrata they were doing. Right? Nanda Gopasutam Devi Pati Me Kurute Nama. Right?
Yeah.
So then he wanted to see. If you want a partner, you want to make sure that the partner is right. Right? Otherwise later on you have trouble. So he's not that he just goes on some what is called .com and finds a match and then you have a problem later on. It's better to test beforehand. And then rest of life you live happily. Otherwise in the beginning you don't test and then you have problem later on. Right? That's what people do. And they say, oh, I love him, I love her, I love this. This love raised for 1 week, 10 days. And after that there is no love. It's only for 1 week, 10 days. 2 weeks, okay, that's more than enough. After that all the chinks come, the cracks appear. And then it looks good to others, but inside they're fighting. Fighting starts in 10 days. 10 days maybe is a long period.
Babaji? Oh yeah, I have a question. This entire explanation is very clear. It shows how much faith they had in Shri Krishna. The question now arises now. Okay, but how do you kind of now see, for example, Satyabhama is fighting with Krishna? How can she fight then? She doesn't have faith or something? I mean, how do you now explain the other side? How can anybody fight with Krishna now? How can she argue with Krishna? How can she demand something from Krishna now?
No, now they have already made a pact. So this is having fun. Krishna also wants that. He likes, it's called love fight, love quarrel. It's not the quarrel which you see in normal married life. At the base they have complete understanding and unity. But they have fun, like you don't eat sweets all the time. You want little salty stuff, some sour. If I give you sweets even 3 times a day, you will be fed up in one day. If your breakfast is all sweets, lunch is all sweets, dinner is all sweets, next day you will say, Baba, stop. Give me some salty crackers or nothing else. So it just tastes rasa, rasa swad. So he is Rasik Sekhar. That's his Leela.
Bhagavad Maharaj. So, this sloka, can we keep this as a benchmark? But in today's scenario, like Sri Krishna asked the gopis or to this Bhāgavatam, he wants to show what actually surrender. So through the Bhāgavatam, he is showing that what actually the surrender and love is, and what would be its benefits. My point is, even if we keep this as a benchmark for our own self and try to see our own progress, but whoever we are trying to surrender to, he will not go to this kind of an extent, or he will not give us any orders like this. Or so, how do we assess our surrender?
How do you assess yourself?
So, assess our own surrender, like how do we assess? Because this sloka is very clear. It can be a benchmark. But the person whom you are trying to surrender to, he will not give these kind of...
Yeah, because he doesn't have to go to that extent. There's no need to go to that extent. Before that itself you fail. You go to that extent. I mean, you have not passed 5th grade and you are saying, well, now in the present scenario, he is not going to give me the test for master's degree. When you pass primary, then you go to middle, then high school, then... So you fail in the primary level, where is the question of giving you a test for the postgraduate degree?
You have to repeat the primary again and again.
Yeah, kindergarten. Okay.
What is the reason that the gopis here are happily doing all these things? What is the reason that the gopis are happily doing this? Is it because they know that Krishna will be happy, even though this may look pointless? I mean, doing this prayaschitta activities, or what is the reason here?
I mean, it depends from which level you want to understand. From practical level, they want their dress back. They have to go home. So how will they go home naked? They cannot go. They have no other choice. You already refused that you can complain whatever you do. If you don't do this, I don't give you the dress. That's a practical answer. And if you want to see from love point of view, then they are happy with him. If they are surrendered to him, then as they said that we are your servant, and he says, if you are my servant, then do what I tell you to do. So they did it.
So this would mean that the psychology here of love is that that no matter what is asked, that this one does happily, even if it looks pointless or
Yeah. That's what it is. Okay.
Actually, could I express a doubt and come and suggest a possible conclusion?
Yes, sure.
So the doubt could be that if previously, in previous ages, it was normal for even 8 or 10-year-old children to run around naked in the village. So one could say that what is the big deal? These gopis were much younger. So if they are naked and if they're seen by somebody, what's the difference to being naked in the village where everybody sees them, if that is the case? So then, so the conclusion I would present is that, I mean, as you had already said actually a few classes ago, that we cannot really apply our mundane logic because these Leela are trans-rational, trans-logical, and according to what is being thrown, what is being taught, and the power which is expressed, space and time and the ages change in a way that we cannot really, it's not our experience, because these girls are depicted on the one hand as small children, but on the other hand as women. So there could be seen as so many contradictions, same as with the ages of the gopis, the Gita and all that. So it seems the only conclusion is really to let go all these considerations and really only consider the Leela and just accept that these things are changing. This is the way how to approach it.
You see, the most important thing is to understand the tatparya. That is the important thing. So what is the problem is that the author, Sri Vyasadeva, he wants us to understand what is prema. Because that is the problem he had in the very beginning of Bhāgavatam, if you remember, in the 4th chapter of 1st Canto, that he felt asampan iva bhati me hridaya, that I feel something is missing in my heart, although I have done all this work. And then Narada Muni came and he explained to him, and he said, yes, you have explained dharma yatha dharmadayascha artha bhavta hi anukirtita na tatha vasudevasya mahima hi anuvarnita. Yeah, the way you have explained dharma and artha and kama and moksha, and like that you have not explained the mahima of Krishna, which means prema. So that is what you have to be do. Na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam neskarmapi achyut bhav varjit. So then he went on to explain to him the importance of prema. Tasya heto pratet kovito na labdhate bhramtam upriyade. All these slokas he speaks and he tells his own life story. So then Vyasa sits in meditation and he gets the experience himself. Then he writes. So now he wants to explain what is prema. And prema means prema for Krishna, Krishna prema. It's a very difficult subject to explain it. Explain it, make us understand. It's a very highly difficult thing. Because we all have ideas of prema, which is material. And he wants to explain what is Krishna prema, which is beyond material prema or beyond anybody's concept of what is prema actually. So therefore he brings up this Bhāgavatam for that purpose. That's why he says projhitakai dharma projhitakai tuvotra parmo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastam atra vastu. So then he arranges all these stories in a way for us to grasp this. And the most intimate relationship which we have an experience is a relationship between boy and girl, not between husband and wife. That everybody knows. Anybody who is married knows this very well. That the intimacy which is between unmarried boy and girl is the most intense. And with this, he wants to show that the love for Krishna is something like that. So he explains, he brings these stories of the gopis and he wants to show how they love. That's why Parkiyavad is brought in. And then there is no mention of any name of any gopis, because the idea is to explain bhava, as I explained in the beginning of this class, and not the body. Why no name is mentioned? People say, oh, Radha is not mentioned. There is no need to mention. The idea of Bhāgavatam is not to mention Radha. Like now everywhere only Radha, 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 wherever you go Radha. The question is not to explain what is Radha, but explain what is Radha Bhav. And this is just what is being explained here is Bhav. So now to explain this Bhav, Bhav does not have a form in our own concept, and I said Bhav is something internal which is in the mind. It's a Chitta Vritti. So how to explain it? If I have a Chitta Vritti, how do I explain it to you? It is in my Chitta. I have to give it a shape, I have to make a story out of it, and I have to tell it to you. And then you may get an idea if you are a Sahirdya. Otherwise you can also mistake it by your Chitta Vritti, by your conditioning. So then he explains this, and for that he brings this. So the idea is not that gopis are small and gopis are big. If he has to make them express their bhava, then they cannot be too small. But he wants to show too small because 50,000 people are criticizing Krishna that what kind of person he is playing with naked girls. So then we who have to defend it. So he has to bring this. So all this idea that they are only 3-4 years old is so that he is not criticized. Because people only think of sex whenever there is a question of boy and girl. The only idea which comes in human mind is sex. Nothing beyond that. So then how are you going to defend this? And then what to speak of people of other religion, say Christians or Muslims. When they read it, they are going to mock us like anything. That's why Arya Samaj came into existence when Britishers were preaching here. So Arya Samaj completely said, all these Puranas, they are not authority, there is nothing, only Vedas. Because in Vedas there is no such stories. And Purana has got all types of crazy stories. If you read Shiv Purana and this Purana and that Purana, Brahma Purana, all types of stories are there. So you read them, you make fun of them, and some are already doing it. Now because internet is there and this there are some great Muslim speakers, they are all the time speaking on these. And Hindus don't know what to say, and then they become his followers. Yeah, he is right. So the thing is that this is something which common people cannot understand. And it is not easy to defend it, but at least Vyasadeva has given us some material to defend. So then we can say, well, this is an offense to take naked bath in the river. Would you like your wife or daughter to go and take bath naked in the river? He will say no. He says that's what Krishna is teaching. So you don't talk about rasa or bhakti or anything. He says he is teaching them moral principles. And he is punishing them. Why he is asking them to come out like this? Anyway, they are small, but now for the rest of their life, they will learn this lesson. So it is not a question how old they are and how big they are and whether in the village they run naked or not naked or anything. The point is not that at all. That point is there because various types of people are going to read. Once book is written, it is written and anyone can read it. And this was one of the reasons that previously books were not printed. Because only those who will be serious students, they will hear it. And others don't get any chance about it to know. So that's the reason that now if you start applying, well, in one side you say like this, they are so small, other side you say like this doesn't make sense, this does not make logic. How can 6-year-old boy do all these things? And then we'll say, well, he's God, everything is possible for him. All these things. So if they have to become small, they become small. If they have to become big, they become big. They can do anything. But that is not the point of the story. Point of the story is this sloka. Dridham pralabdha trapiyacha hapita. Prasto vidha kridan vachyakarita. This is the sloka. This is the essence. It is immaterial how old they were and how many they were. Were they 50,000 or only 5 of them? How many friends were there with Krishna? Was he alone or we had 4 or 5? Why these friends are with him? This is also to show that look, if he has to do any hanky-panky business, he would go alone. Why did he take his friends? So that's just to protect. So Vyasdev has to show this and at the same time protect Krishna from materialistic people who will criticize him. So then after that he will make him lift Govardhan hill and say, look, if a person who can lift Govardhan hill, you think he has any need to run behind girls? He can create unlimited girls by his power if he wants.
Thank you, Balaji.
It's also interesting, Babaji, that here when he replies that, he doesn't say Sri Krishna Vacha, he says Sri Bhagavan Vacha. That also shows his samartha. He is so capable. He's a Bhagavan, he's none other than Bhagavan. And he can do these things. So I thought that was very interesting. He uses Bhagavan all throughout the Bhāgavatam like that.
Yeah, so that's why all these statements are there. But those who want to criticize, they will criticize anyway. They will quote these other slokas, and the person who has not read, he will say, yeah, he's like this. He's not going to say, well, it says Bhagavan Vach. So that is for us, so that we can give some response. But common person has no answer to these things, Okay.